Um, hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up, Adrian. And it's good to see you, Natalie. Like actually live.
Love
uh,
it. Maybe it's nice working out.
yeah, I know. I'm about to when I'm done. So I was telling Christina, I was like, "Did you shower?" I was like, "I don't think I've ever showered for one of these calls." And like half our team calls too. So maybe one day. But um, I wanted, well, a lot of people wanted Adrienne to talk about adding value because she does such a good job of it. And I know it's kind of it's a confusing topic for people. You know, when we say like, you need to add value to your audience, a lot of people don't quite understand what that means. And so I wanted Adrienne to talk about this because she does such an amazing job of it, like amazing. Like um, when she started coaching and she wasn't quite sure what to post, you know, I've always really admired Adrienne. She's just got a great faith. She's got, she's a good mom, she's a good wife, and I've always just kind of looked to her as, she always adds value to my life. So it was just a matter of, everything we talk about, everything we've talked about in a conversation, and little things she'll share. I was like, that's what you need to be posting about because that is essentially adding value. It's just being ourselves, being genuinely ourselves. And I know a lot of people think that they don't have anything to offer people, but you do. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It's just being yourself and putting that out there for the world to see because there's just so much negativity out there, especially with like this like recent like gorilla thing. Oh my gosh, like I can't even, like it makes me want to take a time out from Facebook because it's just like, it's really sad to see like a little thing like, I can't imagine what this mom is going through right now and having just, all this hate towards her. But what we want to do is we want to be the opposite of that. We want to be positive. We want to be uplifting. We want to be, sharing our mess and sharing our triumphs with people. So with that, Adrienne, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, first of all, let me just say that I'm honored that you guys would ask me to share because I'm still pretty new to this and I look up to all of you and have learned a ton from every single one of you, which I appreciate so much about this team. We're not here to get ahead of one another, but to build one another up and to use each other's strengths to build each other up. So anyway, I think, Kelly, when you were talking about posting and not knowing what to post, I think a lot of it starts with fear and that I know for me, like I was terrified of posting something other than just a picture of my kids because what are people going to think of me? What if they start deleting me from Facebook? What if they like have opposing opinions or like all these things are racing through my head. And so it took me a while to just tell myself, who cares? Because it means something to me and I'm sure there's somebody out there that it will mean something to. Will it mean something to everybody? No. But is that okay? Absolutely. And then I started to really boil it down to what was my why? Why was I even doing what I was doing? Why did it matter to show value to people? And that's where one really cool thing about TeamZ is that it asks you guiding questions when you're setting it up to figure out your why. And so just a little bit about my why is, to become a happier, healthier me and to create an environment of people who want to encourage and strengthen one another. But that all starts with adding value to each other. So if you haven't read Go Givers or Go Givers Sells More, so good. If you don't know or you're afraid of posting and offending people or you're afraid of posting because you don't want it to be about a sale, I really feel like this book gives you the okay, that it's okay that you're not going to make a sale off everybody and you don't even make sales, you create value. That's the whole point of what we do. And he said, if you get anything out of this book, let it be these things. It is not about you, it's about them. And so I think that really helps too. Go. And then I was reading a devotional the other day, and in Colossians 3:2, it says, set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. And along with creating value, I think sometimes the holdup is the money behind it. And how can we say what we want to say and still get people interested? Because ultimately, like we want to provide a living for ourselves, but we have to remember that that's not the end all be all. That really, in life, relationships matter a whole lot more than the money, because when we leave the money, the money's gone. We don't take that to heaven with us. Hold on, my son needs me to wipe him. I'll be right back.
Yeah, if you guys haven't, Christina, have you read this? Or do you have it?
I actually bought it on audio. I have been listening to it.
I need to get it on audio. Natalie, if you haven't gotten this book, get it. It's really good. And
it's only like $11 on audio. It's really good.
Maybe audio would help, because I feel like I never have time to read, especially with Lincoln's the same age as your daughter, Christina, and he's just crazy all the time. But he's a boy, so he's worse than a girl. He climbs and gets into everything. He's
trouble.
Yeah, I actually I listen to audio while I'm like preparing Charlie's breakfast, and while I like clean up around the house or do laundry or something, I constantly have audio on. We actually got rid of cable because I refuse to even watch TV anymore. I'd rather just listen to books. And it makes Charlie really tired to listen to some like monotone voice.
Yeah.
The chapters are really short too, literally like 2 to 5 pages. So you could sit down for like 5 minutes and read a chapter and be
They are. And I feel like, if you look at all my chapters, like I have like everything dear to me, and have the text highlighted. Like it's all really good stuff. Like I'm going to read this again and again and again, and I want to get it on audio so that I can just re-listen to it, because it is literally like, I wish I would have read this book like 5 years ago, because it is like how I want to build my business and how I've started to, like how I've been building my business, but having a hard time of figuring out how to like put that into words and explain it to people. But this does that for me. And I think, I just love it. Yeah, I'm going to order the audio after this call. Thanks, Christina. Because I was like, I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. Just because I think it sinks in a lot better if I can hear it. So,
I'm a highlighter.
Yeah, and I like to see it too. Anyway, so if I can have both, then okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
What was it called? Go Givers Sell More. Is that what it's called?
There's 3 of them. There's Go Givers. There's the Go Givers. This is the first one. This is really good. And then Go Givers Sell More, and then there's a Go Givers Leader, and I want to get that one next because I think that one will be really good.
Okay, so sorry.
That's
of course, that would happen. So when you start to think about how you can add value, there's different ways you can add value. Add value just by what you post. You can add value by sending private messages, typed or voice. If you have not used voice messenger, do it. I can't say enough about it. Handwritten notes. One of my goals is to write 2 to 4 handwritten notes a month. It doesn't take that much time, but it definitely takes intentionality. Like I have to have it written down because I'm on my computer, I'm on my phone. I don't necessarily have I have a whole pile of cards. I just have to get them out to use them. And then just in your actions, when you're out and about, you can add value to people. So for me, when I am thinking about my posts, I use my planner pad because my life is in my planner pad. And I will actually plan out my posts for the week, somewhere between 2 to 4 posts a week. And there are a variety of things, that are important to me. So family, faith, fitness, professional development, things that I do with my kids, anything that I think that my audience would want to see. And it's funny as you start posting more and you start to watch, likes and comments don't matter. Remember that too, because people are watching and they're not liking and commenting. But it is interesting to see, you do start to see a pattern of which posts get the most likes and comments, what time of day get the most likes and comments. Like those things start to become clear. And sometimes it's like you have this really great post, but it's like midnight and you, like that would be a great time to post it. Like you have so much value to add, but hold that thought and save it in the notes app or whatever, and then post it the next morning, 8:00 in the morning or whatever, when you know that more people are up to read it. And then you'll truly create value to more people with that valuable post. And share your struggles, because you want to be able to relate to people. If you think that you're posting like all these happy pictures and your kids are always happy and they never destroy the house and you never have a bad day, people are going to start to wonder like if you're real, and people have a lot of the same struggles you do and they can relate to you. So when people tell me, awesome.
I need red, green, all the colors.
Okay, I'm talking, so I'll come see in a little bit, okay? When people start to tell me, wow, it looks like you have your life together, then I'm like, oh no, like I must not be sharing enough, like struggles too. Awesome. Okay, go keep building. So, and if people will message me and say, wow, like how do you have time to do everything? It looks like you have your life together. That also gives me an opportunity to be like, hey, look, like this is not all together. These are the things that are important to me. So I am sharing those things, but life isn't all together always. And then I'll start to change maybe what I share about. But always ask questions too in your posts. You want to start to include other people in your post and get other people involved. A lot of times, like I'll post a picture of, say like Lucy and I posted one time we were cooking in the kitchen. And instead of just posting that picture of her and I in the kitchen, like, oh, look what we did. It was, I am a control freak. It is so hard for me to sit there with her, like taking the time for her to help me pour, but she's learning, what about cooking, and we're spending one-on-one time together. What kind of activities do you do with your kids to spend time together? So it added more value than just like, oh, look what we did. We had a good time. Yay. And a lot of times people won't respond to a question that you ask in a post like that, but sometimes they will. And then sometimes you might you might gain value from them, because everybody has something to offer for you. And I've also found, and I'm sure some of you can relate, that if you post a picture about what you're wearing or your hair or a chair, Christina, people are going to post. They're going to have an opinion. They're going to have something to say about that. And
yes.
So,
and I will tell you, I did a Stitch Fix one like last week, and I got over like 50 comments. I think everybody like on my news feed had commented on just that one. Like, it's crazy. Like clothes, if you don't know what to post, just put on 2 outfits and ask which one is it. And it could just be like 2 workout outfits. Like, it doesn't even, like, it is insane, isn't it? And I hate doing those posts. Like, those are the posts that I just like cringe. But man, it gets like ridiculous feedback from, like, people love to tell you what to wear.
They love to have their opinion, I think. So I know that those aren't necessarily the most fun posts, but I think in Facebook, how things work and how you pop up on other people's feeds is when you like and comment on somebody else's stuff, then they're going to show up more in your feed. So the people that you're not liking and commenting on, they stop showing up. So if people aren't liking and commenting on your things, then you're not showing up in their feed either. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll throw in one of those posts, say like in the afternoon, and you get a ton of comments. And then in the evening, you post one of your, call to action posts or a challenge group post or a coaching post or whatever. And then you have more people who are seeing you show up in their feed. So you're adding value. Then you can really show them that you can add the value and people will see it. So another important thing is having your list and who you're going to show value to. And the list for me was something that definitely took time to form, because I was so lost in where do you start? Who do you start adding value to? And eventually I just started writing down names in different lists. So like people that I was forming with, and then people who I wanted to invite. And I just started writing down names. And then eventually my list became like my forming, my new ads, my, potential coaches, my challengers, the people that I'm inviting, and my list has grown. And so now I will go to those lists to look to people to find value. So I know Christina said sometimes we get distracted in our news feed, and then it's hard to add value to those people who we really need to add value to. So I'll go to my list and I'll pick people from my list to add value to. And that's helped me from 1, getting distracted in my newsfeed, and 2, to make sure that I'm adding value to those people who I really want to add value to. And then, like we talked about, Team Z, awesome. And I know that it's a 30-day trial. And then Melissa posted something about a discount code the other day too. But Christina, did you want to say any, I don't know if she's still there. Did you want to say any input on Team Z?
No, just follow the tutorials when you log in, and then watch the Team Courage call from last night, because that's the guy that thought about Team Z. He was on there and he explained everything. And he told you how to do follow-ups, how to check in with people. He literally screenshotted his Facebook and found people and showed you how to start a conversation with somebody who you never talked to before. He showed you how to start like a engaging conversation. So it's not just like, I don't know, one of those just a random message to them where like it's awkward. Yeah. So I just highly recommend you just go through all of that. And what's the harm in doing it for 30 days? Now, don't do it like me and sign up for a 30-day trial and then sit on it for 2.5 weeks, because that's exactly what I did. And now I just got the email saying that it was going, I need to pay for the, subscription or whatever, which is fine. I'm going to do it. I'll write the promotion code in the chat.
Yeah, Christina, I was going to say I'm going to create a file in our back office or in our team page in the file section that will have all the, because we have like 3 or 4 tutorials on it, like different ones. So yeah, all of those in there, and then I'll put the promotion code Melissa shared in there as well, so it's all there.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've thought of this yet, Kelly. Sorry, this is totally kind of off topic, but in the new coach training, do you think that we should put that tutorial in there from last night from Team Courage?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I think that if we show a new coach that there's an opportunity to have everything organized from the very beginning,
yes,
instead of just like overloading them with, okay, here, make your list and do this and do this. Team Z kind of does it all for you. So if you just first do the 30-day free trial as a new coach, and you have that opportunity in front of you when you first start, you're like, wow, these people are organized.
Yes. Okay. That's a good idea, because I think that will actually make things easier for new coaches, because they're not trying to figure it out. Like, I think it's kind of hard in the beginning to figure out
the business activity tracker
and like what you need to be doing every day, but that just literally, like, Team Z tells you every day what you need to do. It's actually perfect. Actually, that's a really good idea, and I'll work on that too. Because I don't think Erin's like collected all of the files yet, so I can add one more post in there.
Okay, cool.
So back to talking about adding value in your list and things. The old me, before I ever started coaching, would never have wanted to add people to my Facebook that I didn't really know. I never would have started a conversation with them. And, I just, now the new me is adding people daily, starting conversations, and there's not fear there, because I know that my heart is in the right place. And so, I'll add somebody to my Facebook, and then once I see that they've approved my friend request, go to their page and stalk them, for lack of a better term, and kind of see what's going on in their life. I might like or comment on some of their posts, and then eventually I'll go and write them a message and say, hey, like, for instance, somebody today popped up from suggested friends who was from high school who I haven't seen or talked to in 10 plus years. So I might go to that person and say, hey, your face popped up on Facebook as somebody who, as a suggested friend. It's good to see your face. How are things going? It doesn't have to be pressure at all. Just like, hey, you showed up. Thinking about you. How's it going? Make it about them. Ask them a question. See what they throw back at you. And just continue to ask those questions because you want it to be about them and not about you. And in the Go Giver Sell More, when I was reading today, he was talking about in conversations when somebody asks you what you do and how you respond. And we talk a lot about, our elevator pitch, but in all reality, it's saying it in a way that is about them. How can it benefit them? So in our conversations, we should be thinking about our conversations. How can what I say benefit them? How can I get them to think and to know that I genuinely care about them and what they're doing, what's going on in their life? And so he talked about asking why, asking instead of what. So, for example, I gave a friend yesterday, I failed. First of all, but I learned that today, so it's okay because I can get back up and do it again. Failing forward. So I had a friend who I posted a recipe last week on like breakfast brownies because why not? Who doesn't want brownies for breakfast? If you live in my world, I would eat them every day. But it called for protein powder. Well, I don't have any other protein powder besides Shakeology. I didn't necessarily say like, oh, well, I use Shakeology, but people were like, oh, well, what's that? Or what can you tell me about protein powder? I know nothing of the sort. And so I messaged her and I was like, oh, hey, I have some, I use Shakeology for protein powder. Do you want some? I didn't say like anything else about it because I didn't need to at that point. Just, hey, this is what I have. Do you want to try it? And she was like, oh, sure, great. And so I brought her some yesterday and then I sent her a message and was like, hey, I realized I just gave it to you quickly and then we were doing like a fit walk and I didn't get to say much more. So, I had just scooped it into a bag because I didn't have packets. So I was like, well, one scoop is about this much and you can use it for this or you can use it for that. And she was like, oh, okay. She was like, I'm going to look up the recipe and now that you say something about a shake, maybe I'll try that. She's like, well, what do you suggest? Using it as a meal replacement or as a snack? And then I answered her talking about me. But now after reading this, I think if I did it again, I would ask her like, well, what is going on in your nutritional life? Like, are you battling carbs and you need, or are you battling snacking? Like, and helping her find what is better for her than my friend seeing how it benefits me. Does that make sense? So lesson learned. Next time I will be more intentional about how I ask those questions.
I know. And that's a hard thing. I mean, even for me, like, especially if you have like an easy in, like if the door, like somebody just is at your doorstep and you're like, sweet, like you feel like you can you don't have to take the time and effort because you've got somebody there and you think it's just an easy win, but it's not. It's really, really hard. And for me, that's why, having scripts, not because I necessarily use the scripts, but they just are there as a reminder that I need to slow down and ask questions, because it's really easy when you have something like that, like, oh, hey, like here's Shakeology, like you'll love it, and people don't care about that. And you've really just lost that whole conversation that you could have, that give and take, that back and forth where you can really take the time to learn about the other person and find out what their goals are and what their struggles are. That's going to take it to the next level. Like, yeah, Adrienne might get a simple sale on Shakeology, but if instead she had taken the time to have that conversation, like she could have a coach, or an advocate or somebody who, has a real need and she's able to fill that need, not just with Shakeology, but with something else. So, Danny Johnson always says, like, have duct tape, as a reminder as well. And maybe that's something I need to do, because it's really easy if you have that in, or, somebody's asking you a question to just vomit all over them.
About the what, yes.
About, the what, the facts, the figures, the spiel. instead of taking the time to back up, slow down, and find out about them, keeping it about them. And the other thing, the Go Giver, I think, does a really good job of like trying to like mentally prepare you for that, is if you have fear, or if you have that fear when you're going into a conversation, or if you're constantly asking yourself, like, I don't know what to say next, I don't know what to say next, or maybe I didn't explain that right, then you know your heart isn't in the right place, because you're making it about you. If you're not having those fears, if you're not having that inner dialogue, then you know you're doing it right, because you're keeping it about them. Because if you keep it about them, you shouldn't have those, those second thoughts, and that fear, because it's all about them. So what do you have to fear? So, great analogy.
And then another thing too about adding value to people is to just browse their Facebook, or like I said, stalk them, for lack of a better term, and just kind of see what's going on in their life, and more than just liking and commenting on what's going on in their life, but sending, and I know Kelly, I think you made a video of this recently, but instead of just commenting, like say you saw that somebody's family member just passed away, or it's their birthday, instead of just commenting on their post like, oh, happy birthday, or I'm so sorry for your loss, or whatever, go and send them a personal message and let them know that you're personally thinking of them, because most everybody else is just commenting on their post. They're not going and sending them a message. So then you kind of stand out more than everybody else. And then also in my devotional, I thought this kind of applied in Colossians 3:12. It says, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And I just thought that those words were a great description on how, when we're answering, to think of those things in order to add value to people. God created us to be in relationships with people and to add value to people. And make it be about that. Don't make it be about making the sale or making the money or whatnot. And I really had to learn that and I think I've become maybe too comfortable with it, is that just building the relationship is okay. And if they don't jump on board with me, that's fine. Like, I still feel like I've done what I've done to add value, but obviously I have to get people on board with me in order to further myself. But I feel that I am totally comfortable with building that relationship and letting that come first. And I think that that's really important. And another thing that I've realized too is that when you start to add value to people and you check in with them and you show that you genuinely care what's going on in their life, they return the favor. And then you find that when you send somebody a message that you care, I don't know about you, but I know that in my heart, like, there's a lot of joy. Like, I know that even though they might not tell me, that I probably made their day, or, that they smiled when they read what I wrote. But then eventually those people will start to message you and say, hey, thinking about you, how's your week going? Or when we moved, I had a gal who was recommended to me come and clean my house. And she's just a fun person to be around. And we only had met those few days that we cleaned together, but I've stayed in touch with her on Facebook a little bit, sending her messages. And just the other day, she sent me the sweetest message. And she just said, and it was just from me checking in with her saying, hey, I'm thinking of you. How's it going? And she would say, oh, I'm having a hard day. And so I might say, well, I'm praying for you. Or what do you, how can I pray for you? And so the other day she sent me this message. She said, so small way you changed my life. About a year ago, I stopped going to church for various reasons. I served the church in several ways and served my fellow man, mostly in secret because all that is between me and God. Anyway, I got very angry with God about the amount of crap that seemed to be dumping on my parade: cars, marriage, jobs, etc. One of my giftings was exhortation, encouraging others. I had completely stopped doing that and made a full effort to be just plain bitchy and negative. Well, Missy, for whatever reason, after meeting you fellow humans, I'm still not going to church, but I'm not mad at God so much anymore, and I think that counts for something. You silently demanded, possibly prayed me into being a better person once again. So thank you. I had no idea that a simple referral would forge such a deep connection with you. Keep praying and know that it's working. Love you. So, like, literally, something so small has turned into something so big. And I love that. Like my joy, like I just exploded. Like I was in tears reading it. I wrote her back and I'm like, you have no idea the impact that you've made on my life too. And I'm not reading that to brag and say, you know, obviously I know how to show value and people are showing value to me. It's just an example to you that when you are genuine showing value, that people it comes back full circle. And, you know, in Go Givers too, I think it was Go Givers, he talked about that one person has a network of at least 250 people. So when you are genuine to that one person, they can become a referral to those 250 people that you have not ever met. So it's just important to show value. And Albert Einstein says, strive not to be a success, but rather to be a value. The more we put helping others first and focus on adding value to other people's lives, the more abundance flows our way. It's a win-win all the way around. So I don't know. I can't say enough about adding value in messages, in comments and likes, and on your post. And even if you hear crickets, your time will come. I promise. So
where do you find what you're gonna make a valuable post? Like, do you Pinterest stuff? Do you Google things like I don't know, family or faith or professional development, or do you just go by what you're reading for personal development at that time? Or
yeah, I pretty much fly by the seat of my pants, I would say. I mean, if I have something coming up, like next week we have swim lessons coming up, so there will definitely be, I'm sure, be a post about swimming. Or like today, like I've already worked on a post after today from our call. And then I just, like, on Sundays are usually one of the days that I post about a Bible verse or something that resonated with me, faith-based from church. Or I'll look for a verse that I read during the week or something that touched me, and then build off that. Monday mornings, I usually do some kind of motivational or never miss a Monday kind of post. And then I just kind of go with what's going on. You know, like, it's summer is coming, so asking people, what are you most looking forward to this summer? What kind of plans are your family doing? Or fall shows are ending, or, you know, whatever, the season of all our shows are ending, so what do you watch in the summer? Just to kind of get people engaged. I don't know if that helps or not, but does anybody else have any other questions?
I think you did such a good job of explaining it. And yeah, I think, you know, I was going to say too, before you were just about done, is, you know, I think what makes our team so great is we're different. You know, if you look out there, there's a lot of Beachbody coaches out there, and they're all kind of doing the same thing. But I think what really brings joy to my life is, you know, when I get on Facebook and I see all your guys' posts, like, it's not Beachbody, it's not salesy, it's really each of you like tapping into what makes you you. And it's so different. Like, Adrian is so different than Christina, and Natalie is so different than Melissa, you know, but you all have something that you're really passionate about and that you're really good at, and you make sure that you share that with people. And I think that's awesome, because at the end of the day, there's so much there. I mean, there is competition out there. There's, you know, you're not the only Beachbody coach out there, but, you know, I think people are kind of tired of like salesy type stuff. And so you're going to be a breath of fresh air to people. People are going to want to come to you because of what you are sharing with people, because people are going to connect with you and relate to you. And those are going to be lifelong customers, or, you know, or they're going to be a valuable member of your team. So, you know, that's why adding value and doing this is so very important. Yes, it's going to be a slower process. You know, you're going to have that lag time, but I want you to know that, you know, this is a marathon and not a sprint. So thinking long term, yes, it's going to take a lot of extra work in the beginning. You're maybe not going to have the payoff that you're hoping. You're not going to be rich overnight, but you're going to be doing it for the right reasons, and you're going to have customers and coaches who are in it for the right reasons, who are going to be with you for life. And that is a lot more valuable than getting a quick Success Club point, writing that person off, and then that person is ultimately going to go find somebody else who really connects with them.
When people tell you like, oh, you are really inspiring, or I really love reading your posts, and they might not have asked you anything about Beachbody or not, but to me, that's rewarding in and of itself, that I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that God has gifted me in this way, and that I'm doing that. It might not be that I'm making all the money in the world right now, but that's okay. Like, things will come.
It will come. It will. And but you've got to be consistent with it. I mean, you can't be doing like adding value for 2 weeks and then you like drop off the face of the earth for like a month, because then you've got to start all over. Every time you do that, you've got to start from the beginning. So that's why it's important to keep it going. And even if it's just like one post a day, you know, and you're taking like the weekends off, if you're consistent during those weekdays, you're going to build that momentum. But you've also got to make sure it's not just posting. Like, you've got to make sure that you're reaching out and building those relationships. But like Adrienne was saying, and like Team Z is kind of set up to do, is it reminds you to just do like 2 connections a day. That's it. And you know what's easy? Facebook birthdays. I mean, right there, that's 2 people for you to connect with. There's always at least 2 people who have a birthday on Facebook, and that's 2 easy connections. And I always send a message, you know, and, you know, depending on how our relationship is, if we have a close relationship, it's a great in to kind of start a conversation, not about Beachbody, but just, hey, happy birthday, you know, like, what are your plans? And hey, like, it's been a while, like, I'd love to catch up. Like, where, you know, I have a lot of military friends, so where are you living? Like, you know, how are you liking it there? And, you know, just how is life going? It's just such an easy in, and they will respond to it. And it's going to be a lot more meaningful than having something like posted happy birthday on your wall, you know. The same with a comment, you know, like Adrienne was saying, you know, if something big is going on in somebody's life, either good, bad, messy, whatever it is, send them a message. Don't just be another comment on their news feed. You know, take the time, and it doesn't have to be a long message, you know. For example, like, I had somebody the other day who lost their mom. And so I just sent her a message. You know, she had a ton of comments. Could have just commented like, I'm so sorry for your loss, or, you know, I'm praying for you and your family, or whatever. But instead, I just sent her a message, and I kept it really short. And I was like, I'm really sorry to hear about your mom. Like, I can't imagine what you're going through. Like, I haven't been there, but I know it's got to be really hard. So I just want you to know, like, I'm praying for you and thinking about you. And that's it. And, you know, and she just sent back this really nice message, and that's all, you know. And then I wasn't like, hey, you want to join my challenge group? No, but, you know, when you do that, you will have, for example, like, I've had random people just purchase Shakeology through my site, or purchase a challenge pack through my site, and they'll send me, like, I haven't talked to them in forever, you know, they've never commented or liked on anything, but they'll send me a message and say, like, hey, like, I tried, you know, I ordered some Shakeology from you. You know, I just want to give it a try. And that's what happens. Like, that's when you get that momentum going, that's what happens. People just come to you because they want to be with you. These people could have gone to a million other coaches, but they came to you because they relate to you, because you've been so effective with sharing your life and adding value to their life in some way, shape, or form that you may not be aware of. So, and the last thing I wanted to say too, you know, with what Adrienne was saying, like, it will come back to you, whether that be with a business or some other aspect of your life. You know, we had to, this is kind of minor, like, I think Adrienne's is a lot more deep. You know, coming back to her faith in God, I think, is a lot better. But, you know, we had our house is under contract, and had an inspection and the people wanted like our gutters cleaned, which is kind of silly because we don't live near any trees. Our gutters just had a little bit of dirt in them, whatever. But anyways, like Jim couldn't clean them. So I had put out an ad like, hey, does somebody clean gutters? Like I need somebody to come do it. Well, a friend of mine messaged me and she's like, hey, like I'll come and do it. And I was like, okay. I was like, that'd be great. It's, it's a fellow military wife. And I was like, actually, that would be fantastic. Like, I hope you can do it because I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to, send it to my husband. But anyways, like she came out and that day, she was running late and she's like, I knew she had been struggling in her life for like the last 6 months. And I had sent her a couple messages when I saw her posting about something, hey, I'm just thinking about you, let me know if you ever want to get together for coffee or if you just want to talk. Like, I didn't know what she was going through exactly and I didn't want to pry, but I wanted to let her know that I was thinking about her. And, she came out that day and she was running late. So she sent me a message and she said, hey, I'm running late. Like my daughter is in jail, county jail. She's about to she was sentenced. She was supposed to be sentenced last week, but she wasn't sentenced till this week. So they're moving her next week. And this is the last time I could visit her before she gets moved. And I had no idea, like, that's what she was dealing with. And I can't imagine what she's going through at all. But she came out and she's always happy, just great person. She cleaned my gutters and she got down and I was like, okay, like, let me know how much I owe you. And she's like, nothing. She's like, I just want to do this because it makes me feel good. Like, we're a community and we help each other out. And she's like, the fact that, you've been reaching out to me and, just checking in on me and not wanting anything in return and not judging me meant the world to her. And, I gave her a hug before she told all of me, all of this. And I was like, thank you for your help. Like, I wanted to cry just for the fact that she wanted to, she came out and she did it for free. But that's what this is all about. Like, right then and there, I was like, screw the business. Like, the business is great, but I think this is like what the real focus needs to be on because it's so much bigger than a paycheck. And, when you start to do that, the business will just fall into place. It really, really will. You just have to trust that. And you have to make sure that you really put yourself out there and put your heart out there and make it about other people and not about yourself.
I had somebody the other day that I thought would be a great coach, and she has a personal training certification and just is encouraging, and she does these fit walks that we do here. And so I kind of asked her about it, and she does like helping people, but she doesn't really charge them. And she had kind of asked me like, well, I don't really know what to do. Like, I feel like I'm helping them, but I'm not getting any money from it, whatever. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe like you'd be a great coach. Have you ever considered that? And she's like, I have a problem with Beachbody. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, no big deal. And I messaged her later about something else. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I feel like I was so rude. She's like, you're a great coach and you don't let, Beachbody carry the conversation. And, had I met somebody like you first, who's like you, then that's something that I would want to be a part of, as opposed to like the pushing the sales and all that other stuff. So.
Yeah. And I said, people are getting tired of it. I mean, because there's just so much out there and, it just makes me cringe. Like, oh my gosh, like I wish people would teach you how to use like social media the right way because yeah, people are getting tired of it and they're tired of like being, things being pushed on them. And that's going to set you apart. Like people are going to start coming to you. So just have faith in that and just make sure that you're doing it, doing it the right way. But all of you on this call do it in that like way better than I do even. So, yeah. So does anybody have any more questions? I think like you just nailed it, Adrienne. So
I'm honored.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing this very long, and I mean, I try to talk to people, but at the same time, I don't want to like keep pushing. Do you know what I mean? Like the same person, I'm not going to keep saying like over and over, like, well, have you thought about it more? Or, you know, I've sent some people some of the packets of shakes to try that had asked me to, and then sometimes they won't respond. Or like the one girl, she still has it, but she hasn't even tried it yet, even though she's had it for weeks, you know. But I don't want to keep, I feel like even once a week saying like, oh, have you thought about it more? Have you tried it? Like, I don't want to keep asking, you know.
I feel like
reach out to them about something completely different than have you tried the shake yet, or how'd you like it? Reach out to them about maybe they post a picture of them and the kids on the beach, because you're at Lejeune, right? So like kids and stuff on the beach, and say, hey, what part of the beach did you guys go to? Like, we're looking for a great place to go this weekend with the family or something like that. Was it crowded? I don't know, something along those lines. But reaching out to them and starting with a conversation completely different, and I guarantee they will bring it back with, oh, and I tried that shake that you gave me. They will, if you reach out to them about something completely different, they're going to wrap it back to Beachbody, not you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try, and then a lot of people say like the only two things that people say about the shakes is either one, they don't want to spend the money because they say it's too much money, or two, that they don't like how it tastes, that it's not just the flavor, because even if they've tried like 2 different flavors, they just don't like the consistency of it or something. They just say that it's gross and they don't want it.
Yeah.
Lesson release.
Yeah. I don't think it's gross, but okay.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times if you're just, you know, throwing out samples to people, it's really hard to kind of have them grasp the whole idea of what, because this is more than just like Hawken Shakeology in a program. Like, I really like to make sure that people see the value in everything that we have to offer and not just the Shakeology. So I would try, instead of just, if people are asking for like, hey, like, or if you're saying like, hey, just you want a sample or whatever, try to get them plugged into a group. You know, we do these free 7-day groups, and they're either just clean eating, or you can have it with Shakeology. It's for both. So if you have people who, you know, want to try the shake, like, see if they want to get in the 7-day group, because then it will give them a chance to kind of try the Shakeology. It'll give them a sample of what our challenge groups are about, what having a coach can do for them. And then all of a sudden that price isn't going to be a big deal, because they see the overall value in all of it. So I think that's a good thing. And yeah, and not just keep pushing. You don't want to do that. Like, I usually follow up like twice, and if I don't get anywhere, then I will follow up with the relationship from time to time. You know, make sure I'm still showing up in their life on Facebook, commenting and posting and stuff in their life. But I won't bring up Beachbody until like a couple months later, where I'll re-invite them, or if I see that there's an opening or somewhere in the conversation that opening has come about again, where you can, ask the question again.
Well,
I just move on. You've got to make sure that you're not just going to the same 10 people, because I think that's a problem too, is we have to these 10 people were really interested, and we just have our hearts set on it. We're not going to stop until we get those people, but we need to, it may take those people 2 years before they're ready to coach, or Adrienne, I bet she'll be a coach when that person you were talking to will be a coach one day. It may not be right now. She's got to overcome that whole negativity and stuff, but I bet eventually she will. So you have to just think the seed's planted now. They're just not ready to harvest right now. So you need to move on and start planting more seeds, so that eventually, 3-4 months down the line, people are ready, and you have a continuous flow of that.
I'll have people that'll say that they'll bring it up to me, after I post stuff, they'll message me and say stuff, but then they don't have any interest in Beachbody products, but then they'll continue to keep messaging me just about working out, advice on working out, or what do I eat for dinner, but not, they aren't interested in anything with Beachbody, but they still want me to, you know what I mean? They are just asking me about working out. So.
Yeah, I had that yesterday. I actually messaged Kelly about this. I actually have somebody who wants me to program workouts for her. And basically all her programming and all of her nutrition. She wants me to sit down and do all of that. How many reps, how much weight, like,
Yep.
and I'm like, well, I'm CrossFit certified, so I know how to program, but I don't have time or the energy or the money to be able to sit down and do all of that for somebody and she doesn't want to pay anything. She said, my husband's getting out of the Marine Corps, and we're just putting everything on debt right now. And there are so many avenues that I could help her, but she doesn't want to make the investment in herself. And so I just have to say, I'm sorry. Like, I don't do that. She wants me to write down all of 22 Hardcore's workouts for her. And she wants to do the 22 Hardcore workout.
But not get the
just writing them down. And I'm not going to do
no one's asked me really to do that, but they've asked me what different things I do for arms, legs, abs, like how many reps I do. Like, people will ask me, but not to actually make a plan for them, but they'll ask me like what I do. And
I just say I follow the program that Beachbody designs. They have specific people that they know this stuff works, so I just follow those specific workouts. I'd love to get you interested, and I'd love to have you over and do a workout with me one day.
And work out, but two of them, like, they've come over and done 21-day fix with me different days before, but two of them are the ones that say that Shakeology tastes disgusting and they wouldn't drink it every day. So, like, they've been interested in getting DVDs, but not really.
Okay, well, not Shakeology isn't for everybody either. So don't just like write them off, and that was like I was in a group and another coach had posted about that. They had somebody they were talking to, but the person was like just turned off by Beachbody because all the coaches they encountered, like, if they weren't interested in Shakeology, like, then they weren't interested in the person. So you don't want to be that, because Shakeology isn't for everybody. And if people are like, no, I don't want to use Shakeology, or I didn't like the taste, or I'm allergic to something, I'm not going to say like, well, you can't be in my group, or now I'm not going to help you. Like, no, it's like, okay, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. I just want to make sure that, we get them on track. So yes, my challenge groups are only for people who are doing a program. And, I like to make Shakeology, I don't necessarily make it mandatory. It kind of depends. I take it by case basis. But, I just want to make sure that I'm going to help them, and if Shakeology doesn't work for them, it doesn't work for them. And it may not work for, they may say they may not like it in the beginning, but you put them into a challenge group, and hey, a couple months later, people are like, oh, I kind of want to try Shakeology now, or I want to try a new flavor. Just because they've been exposed to other people using it, they've seen the results other people are getting, they're seeing the other recipes, and they're like, oh, that looks good, and then they're going to want to try it. So don't just write them off, and if they don't want Shakeology, that's okay. Get them interested in doing the workout and go from there. Because they could still be a great coach too.
Yeah, I have a downline coach. Well, it's not my personally sponsored or however it works. It's one of my coaches, and she doesn't do Shakeology just because she can't right now, because of a allergy to dairy. Even though the vegan says it doesn't have dairy, it's made in the same factory as the dairy as the one with the dairy, and there might be cross contamination, and she's breastfeeding, and there's like some danger involved, so she doesn't even want to risk it. But she's still a coach. She goes inactive when she doesn't buy a program, but it's no big deal. Like, she's still a coach, and she still is great at it.
Yeah. I had a coach sign up finally last month that she, in the beginning, when she had first asked me about it, and she asked me for shakes to try, and this was, right when our husband's deployed, so like 3.5 months ago. And so I had given her the vanilla and the chocolate to try, and eventually she got back to me because she went home to Tennessee while our husbands are gone. And she got back to me because she was trying like everything. Like right when they left, she got Plexus, then she got It Works. And like she, you know what I mean? She was already doing all this stuff. So I just was like, whatever, you know. And when I talked to Molly, she was like, she'll come back, you know, like eventually she'll come back. So last month, a couple weeks ago, she had texted me. She's like, it's been 3 months. She's like, I tried Plexus, I tried It Works. She's like, I haven't even lost 1 pound this deployment yet. Because she had a baby a couple months before her husband left. She's like, I haven't lost any weight at all. So I want to, you know, try the Shakeology now and get a DVD and stuff. So she did. She got the Shakeology and she got the 21-Day Fix DVD. But she's not, I keep pushing her to stick to the DVD workouts, you know, because she doesn't have like a bike or a treadmill or anything. But she'll like go on the walk with the kids or to the park or swimming or something. And she considers that as her workout. And I was like, but I told her, I'm like, you kind of need to do that extra 30 minutes on top of what your daily routine would already be. Summertime, we're all more active in the summer, but she just started a week ago and she lost 6 pounds in the past week just drinking Shakeology every day and trying to stay more active, even though she's not technically following the DVD. But I keep like, you know, telling her she should. But
is she in? You should plug her into a challenge group, because that usually is enough motivation. You know, if people are really having a hard time like sticking to their workouts or wanting to do their workouts, the challenge groups kind of do that for you. They kind of are the motivation, so you don't have to be like every day like, have you done it? Have you done it? Have you done it? Sometimes just having them being plugged into that and seeing other people doing it, like a lot of other people and a lot of people who have a lot going on in their life doing it, that's motivation.
What I added her to the team page because I told her, even just like seeing other people, like coaches above me every day, like, oh, they got their workout done, I better get off my ass now. Like,
no, I went here. I'm going to add you to our challenge group that just started, and then you can add her to that too, so that she has that, because that's what our challenge groups are all about, is, you know, because on our team page we don't really post anything about workouts, because then otherwise it would just be like a bunch of like be too much, and things like important information would get lost.
Is each challenge group different? Like, what's the one that you're doing now? I've never even done a challenge group.
Okay, so yes, you need to be added then. So you can kind of see, and that's a great thing to start posting about too, especially for the people who, you know, are kind of on the line where they're kind of interested, you know, posting about that, because yes, we sell products, and I say this all the time, yes, we sell products, but I think the real value comes in what we do, what we offer as a coach and these groups, because it's really these groups where the magic happens. You know, anybody can buy a DVD, but what's the problem? People buy it and they don't do it.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, you're not going to get the results. Guarantee it. But if you stick to the program, and I do mine 30 days, and I tell my customers, like, you're mine for life, so you can do as many challenge groups as you want forever. And I have some people who only want to do one, and they've got a good base, and they can move on. And then I have others who are in challenge group after challenge group after challenge group, because it gives them that motivation.
Program?
Huh?
Is your challenge group like a certain program that you're doing for?
No, it's just anybody. So we've got people doing 21-Day Fix. We've got people drinking Shakeology and running. We've got people doing 22-minute hardcore, PiYo, like whatever. It's open to any. They just have to get in there. They have to be doing a Beachbody program, or they have to be doing Shakeology, or both. I don't have people in there who aren't doing either, because that's giving, you know, it's a lot of valuable information in there. It's a lot of our time. It's a lot of our effort. I don't want that to be wasted. So that's why we run these 7-day groups, because that's, you know, if people want, like, you have people who are like, tell me what you're doing, but they don't want to do a program, or they don't want to do Shakeology, you know, that's still taking a lot of your time. So that's why those 7-day groups are great. Hey, I'll help you and give you an idea of what these groups are all about in 7 days. You know, we have a meal plan in there. They can follow it. They can start to get results. They start to get those little successes. That gets them excited to want to keep going. Boom. Then we have a 30-day group, and that's what you can plug into next.
Yeah.
I would also be careful with giving Shakeology packets away for free, because what people do with free is they do nothing. they were handed some packets, so they'll let it sit. So I learned that from Summer. She kind of punched me in the gut one day when she was like, so you have some debt, but yet you're giving away something that you pay $100 for plus every month for free. That doesn't make any sense. So make sure that you're charging, like, I charge like $5 a packet, and then at least it's their loss, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
And at least I'm getting something towards the box that I spent money on to buy.
Yeah.
We don't use packets for free. So
exactly, because then you're making your commission just broken up. And I like to do, like, the other thing about these 7 days is I like to do, you could buy 7 days worth of Shakeology. So, or if you can do a 5-day, we have a bunch of stuff for 5 days too. So then it's like $25. They get 5 days. I think it's important for them have them try it more than one time, because if they make it wrong one time,
And it tastes like it.
Yes, they're going to make it wrong. It's going to taste bad. Like my dad, like, he was up here for the weekend, and he was like, I was like, oh, do you want to have Shakeology for breakfast? He's like, sure. So he gets out a cup and he like puts a little bit of milk and some water in it. He like goes to, I was like, do you just like mix it up like with a spoon? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, no wonder you don't like it. I was like, oh my God. I was like, let me have it. Obviously he did not listen to anything I ever told him. But yeah, so it tastes so much better if you make it a right way. Or if they don't like it the one time, say, hey, like, what did you use? Like, I really like, one of my favorites is, with the chocolate, like banana and peanut butter. You mix it up and it tastes like, a butter. Like it's like
almond butter.
yeah, so like share a good recipe, because there are some ways I can make Shakeology and it won't taste good. There are some ways it can taste amazing and I want to have it 8 times a day. So you just have to find out what people's tastes are too. So I think the 5 days or 7 days gives people a good opportunity to taste it. And usually after they have it 2 or 3 times, they really start to like it and they'll start to get results from it.
Are you talking about that's different than like the challenge group? Because you said the challenge
Yes.
group was 30 days. So you're saying make your own that's only like 5 or 7 with different people?
No, but we run one together as a team. So if you look on our header, in our team page, we have the schedule for the month. So the 7-day real food reset is that exact thing. So we have it either just clean eating. You can join it. It's free. So you can join it as just clean eating. So I'll have a meal plan. So you can just have the meal plan, or I have it so you can add Shakeology to it too. So you can have people buy 5-7 days worth of Shakeology and they can try the Shakeology with it as well. And there's the meal plan incorporates Shakeology as well. So it's really open for 2 different groups of people. And that would be a great thing for people. It's a great option for people who aren't ready to commit to a 30-day program or a 30 days worth of Shakeology. It gives them a chance to try it. You still make your commission off of it. And it's kind of a win-win for everybody. And then, sometimes they're ready to go on to a 30-day and sometimes not. But I really like my percentage rate of people who do a free. Almost all of them will do a challenge group at some point. They'll order a challenge pack at some point. It may be 6 months from the time they did their free challenge, but they always come back. So It's a great way to plant the seed.
I had a question about the DVDs. I know like the 21-day fix, like the challenge pack this month is on sale. But like my sister is already a coach, and so she automatically gets her Shakeology. But if she wants to get the DVD, it wouldn't be any cheaper because you're not getting it in the challenge pack. There's no sale if you just get the DVD.
No, because she'd get it 25% off. So what's a 21-day fix? Is it like $50 normally?
$60.
Okay, so she'd get it for like, I don't know, like $45 or something, $49. So she'd get it discounted.
Yeah. So, I just thought, because in the challenge pack, it's technically $20 off of if you were getting like shakes and the DVD, but.
If she wanted to, she could have her husband order it,
Okay.
the challenge pack. But then she's going to have like 2 things of Shakeology. So if she wanted extra Shakeology, that'd be the way to go.
Well, that's what I was thinking, or you could suspend your regular order just for 1 month and do the challenge and order the challenge pack, couldn't you? Or no?
Well, it would make her go inactive. So you have to think about that. But
are you on a neighborhood Facebook page where you live?
You mean a neighborhood? No.
No, a group page. Okay,
no group or anything.
Because what I do when we get a backlog of Shakeology, because Matt's not drinking it as much, is I just put it on our neighborhood page or a group page, a yard sale page. Because I'm on the Camp Lejeune yard sale page too. I just throw it on there, and I'm like, "Hey guys, $100, first come, first serve," and you'll get like 1 million comments for it because nobody wants to pay $140, but everyone and their mother will pay $100 for it.
Yeah, I've never posted on any of those pages. Like I know you had put on your Facebook about like, I don't know what you posted on.
Yeah.
I posted on like just like a random or like a general like site before. So.
Yeah, no, I don't. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about just post like that bag of Shakeology, like you're selling it to anybody.
Just be careful because I really shouldn't be hearing this because you're not technically supposed to do that. But
sorry.
But I have done that in the past as well. Just do not do it on your personal page. Do not be like, I have Shakeology. Like $100, don't do that. But if you have like a buy sell trade site, just don't tell me you're doing it.
Yeah, I have extra now that because I had got before under my husband's, that I just keep it if people ever ask me for, to try it and stuff. Like I've just, because I have mine already coming, so I have a box that's vanilla and chocolate that's just sitting in the dining room.
Yeah. So, okay, Natalie, I'll add you to the group, and then and then I would add her.
Yeah, like I hadn't been, like I had told you, I hadn't been like done the 21-day fix straight through. I'd only do the DVD sometimes, and then my bike and my resistance bands because I really like biking. But I just started a little over a week ago because today was the first workout of the second week of it, so of doing it straight.
Yeah, and I would definitely like take this challenge group as an opportunity to like really focus. Like I think you should do at least like one program from start to finish because it's that like you have to be like it or not, like our bodies are our business, so we have to make sure we're using the programs.
So this is the first time I'm doing it straight through, but I started a little over a week ago doing it straight through, and I'm actually more sore because normally I would work out 2 days or 2 or 3 days and take a day off, but since it's like, you don't stop for 2 days, I'm more sore than I normally am.
Yeah, and I would, take that opportunity too to share that's what you're doing for your workouts. Obviously, like share a part of your story. That's a great thing. Share that you're sore, because you work out consistently. So I think that's a good thing. You don't want to be like, I can't move because that's going to be like intimidating to me.
No, it's really not that bad. It's not. I mean, I'm sore, but it's not like you can't.
Right. It's good though, because it means you're using muscles that you haven't been using. Like for me, like that's when I get sore, it's a good feeling because I'm like, okay, I'm doing something different. So,
I was going to ask you guys about recover or recharge? What is the
recover.
Because I was thinking about ordering it this month because since I'm doing this straight and everything and I've been a little more sore, I was thinking about ordering it. Does it taste okay? Was it chocolate?
Yeah, it's chocolate. And I think, did they come up with orange too? Or is that the recharge is the orange?
I don't know. I know something's orange. Did you guys try the recover? Is it any good?
I like it. It's chocolate. The one I have is chocolate. I like it. It's good. Also, you should get the Energize. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Energize.
I haven't tried any of those. I have the Shakeology, the Energy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, Energize is it's part of the performance. It's with the Recover. And you take.
Well, I love that. The one I have, the energy that you put in the shake, like the energy boost that Shakeology.